In this video, we will learn about the future methods in Apex. In Salesforce, asynchronous processing allows us to run operations in the background, improving performance and user experience. One of the simplest ways to implement asynchronous processing is through the future methods. Before we proceed further, if you are not sure what asynchronous processing is and how it is different from synchronous processing, I would recommend you to watch my video by clicking on the I button link. In that video, I have explained both the concepts of synchronous and asynchronous Apex with a real life example. That video also shows what are the other ways apart from the future methods using which we can implement asynchronous processes in Apex. Future methods are Apex methods annotated with @future. They enable us to run the code inside that Apex method asynchronously, meaning that the method will execute in the background without blocking the Apex code which called that future method. So simple, right? Future methods are particularly useful to perform tasks that are resource intensive or time consuming, such as making web service or API callouts to external systems, processing large volumes of records, or sending emails. Now, let's take a look at the advantages of future methods that make it so useful. Non-blocking operations. By running tasks in the background, they free up the main execution thread, making our application more responsive. Governor limits. They help us work around certain governor limits like CPU and heap size, allowing our code to handle more complex and bulk data operations. Simplified asynchronous processing. Compared to the other asynchronous processing options like batch Apex, queuable Apex, or scheduled Apex, future methods are easier to implement and understand. Let's also take a look at some limitations that we need to consider while using the future methods. Limited control. We have less control over the execution order and the exact time at which the future method gets executed. Also, we cannot call another future method from a future method to form a chain to implement sequential execution. No return values. Future methods cannot return values to the calling Apex code, so you cannot use them to provide immediate feedback to the user or to track the status of that asynchronous process. Governor limits still apply. While they help with certain limits, as I explained in the previous section, they are still subject to the governor limits, including the ones specific to the asynchronous governor limits or execution, such as the total number of future method invocations in a single Apex transaction. Let's look at a simple example now. We will create a class future method demo. Inside this class, we will create a future method, create and associate contact, which will accept ACC ID, which is account record ID, as a parameter, and first name and last name as second and third parameters to create a contact record. Inside this method, we will write the code to insert a contact record, which will refer to the account that we will create in the execute anonymous Apex window. Now, we will write a code snippet in the execute anonymous Apex window to create a new account and pass the ID of this account record to the future method while invoking it. After writing this code, we will click on the execute button. If we look at the logs tab, we can notice that it generated two logs. One for the Apex code that we executed in the execute anonymous Apex window, and the second for the future method that we invoked from that Apex code. We can validate this account record in Salesforce and also make sure that the contact record was also created and got associated with that account record. You must have by now understood how easy it is to implement and use the future methods. Before we conclude this video, here are some best practices for using future methods. Proper error handling. Implement a robust error handling and logging mechanism so that in case if the method fails, we can go back and troubleshoot it. Mind the governor limits. There are certain governor limits specific to asynchronous Apex executions. Make sure that those are considered while implementing the future methods. No guaranteed execution time. Salesforce does not guarantee when a submitted future method call will be executed. So keep this in mind while using future methods for any operation which is time bound. If you like this video, please do like and share. If you want to receive more of such informative content, please hit the subscribe button. If you want us to make content related to any Salesforce or Salesforce related topic, please do let us know through comments.